You don't forget the first time your wife says the words out loud. I just need space. We were in the kitchen. She was stirring tea that had gone cold hours before. Didn't look at me when she said it. 12 years married. No big fights. No screaming. Just a slow, steady erosion, like waves grinding down a cliff. I should have known something was off when she started going to coffee with old friends. I should have asked more when she began dressing nicer just for herself. But I didn't. I gave her space. Like a fool. 2 weeks after she left, I saw her tagged in a photo. Him. Jason. College ex. The guy she used to say could have been the one if things were different. Turns out, she decided to find out if things could be different. She moved in with him within a month. Didn't file for divorce. Didn't ask for anything. Just stopped being mine. I didn't call. Didn't beg. Didn't chase. Because what do you say to someone who's already replaced you? Friends said she'd come back. That it was a phase. That women don't throw away a decade unless they're in crisis. I nodded. Pretended to agree. But privately, I packed up half her closet and stored it in the garage. I mourned her like a death I wasn't allowed to talk about. 3 months later, she showed up at my door. Hair damp. Eyes swollen. One hand on her belly. And she said the words that knocked the air from my chest. I'm pregnant. And I'm not sure it's his. There are moments in life where your body goes on autopilot. Your brain's screaming, don't let her in. Your chest's caving in under the weight of betrayal. And yet somehow, you're standing aside while she walks back into your house like she never left. She sat on the edge of the couch like a guest. Didn't touch the mug I gave her. Her hands cradled the small bump on her stomach like she was guarding something holy, even as her words kept fracturing the room. Jason freaked out. Said he wanted a paternity test before he committed. I stayed silent. I didn't cheat on either of you. I swear. But there was overlap. Overlap. Like our marriage was a Venn diagram. I don't know what to do, she said. And I hated how familiar that sentence was. I'd heard it before. The first time she lost her job. The first time her mom got sick. I was always the one she ran to for comfort, even when she was the one lighting the match. Why come back here? I asked. Her eyes didn't flinch. Because you still love me. And that was the part that hurt the most. She was right. I offered to let her stay in the guest room. Just for a while. She cried. Said thank you. I watched her brush her teeth with one of my old t-shirts draped over her belly. And that night, I didn't sleep. Not because she was back. But because I didn't know why I wanted her to be. The next morning, she was in the kitchen, flipping pancakes. Her phone buzzed on the counter. I shouldn't have looked. But I did. The message preview read. Jason, I can't believe you went back to him. Call me when he cools off. She came into the room holding a plate of pancakes like we were some picture-perfect mess that had just hit reset. You looked tired. Figured you didn't sleep. I didn't respond. My eyes kept drifting to her phone still buzzing on the counter. Jason, don't make me drive over there. Jason, if it's mine, I'm stepping up. But don't lie to me again. You said it was over. She froze. It is. Then why does he think you're lying? Her mouth opened, then closed. No answer. Because there wasn't one. Do you want him involved or not? I asked. She sat down slowly. I don't know. You don't know, if you want the father of your baby involved? She winced like I'd slapped her. That's when I realized it. She didn't want the baby to be his. Because if it was, she'd have to live with the fact that she left me for a man who abandoned her the moment it got real. You haven't even scheduled a paternity test, have you? No. Why? Silence. Because I'm scared it'll say he's the father, and I'll never be able to fix this. And there it was. She didn't just want shelter. She wanted absolution. She wanted me to be the man she should have stayed with, so the baby wouldn't be a monument to her worst mistake. Later that day, I got a text. Not from her. Not from Jason. From her sister. I heard she's back. Just so you know, she lied to both of you. She told Jason she was pregnant before she even missed her period. She was trying to trap someone, she just didn't know who yet. I stared at the message from her sister like it was a trap. A test to see how far gone I was. But deep down, I already knew, it explained too much. Why the dates never lined up. Why she'd never scheduled a doctor's appointment with either of us present. Why she avoided talking about the future like it scared her. That night, she asked if we could talk. You've been distant. I'm trying to figure out what this is. This? You. Me. The baby. If I'm just a couch until you stop limping. She bit her lip, which used to mean she was thinking. Now I wasn't sure if it meant she was calculating. I messed up. But I didn't come here to use you. You are using me. She didn't deny it. Didn't cry. Just sat down and looked tired. What do you want me to say? That I chose wrong? That I still love you? That I wish I could erase everything? I didn't answer. Because I knew that feeling. I'd replayed it 100 times since she left. The ifs. The maybes. The alternate endings. Do you want to keep this baby? I asked. She looked up, startled. Yes. Even if it's not mine? She nodded. Then we need to find out. She agreed to take a paternity test. 3 days later, Jason showed up at my door. Not drunk. Not angry. Calm. Just so you know, he said, she told me it was mine. But I've done the math. It can't be. He handed me a printout of their last texts. One of them? If it's not yours or his, it's still mine. I'll figure it out. Paternity results are brutal in their simplicity. No drama. No build-up. Just a name and a probability. 0% probability of paternity. Jason wasn't the father. Which should have been a relief, but instead it opened a door to a darker question. Then who was? She was sitting at the kitchen table when I told her I'd read the results. She didn't even blink. So, it's not Jason. You already knew that. I suspected. No, I said, you calculated. She rubbed her temples like I was the one making things difficult. It was a random guy. Just once. After a fight with Jason. I didn't even get his name. I laughed. Couldn't help it. So you left me. Then he left you. Then you rebounded off a stranger. And when that went sideways, you came back to me. She flinched. But not because it was harsh, because it was true. I know how this sounds, she said. It sounds like you thought I was safe enough to be your clean ending. I stood up. I need space. She looked up, shocked. Don't do that. Please. You did. That night, I couldn't sleep. At 2:41 a.m., I checked our shared cloud drive for a receipt I needed. Instead, I found a folder named for court. Photos of the nursery she'd started building. Letters she wrote to the baby. And one labeled. If he leaves, read this. It was addressed to me. The letter wasn't long. Just 3 pages, handwritten. Folded neatly like something she'd practiced and hidden in plain sight. The first line? If you're reading this, I already know I ruined us. She went on. I don't expect you to understand how I got here. I don't even understand it myself. I was scared. Of aging. Of dying in place. Of being invisible. And Jason was the ghost of who I used to be, wild, spontaneous, selfish. But the truth is, he was a mirror. Not a window. He only reflected my worst parts. And when he left, I realized I didn't miss him. I missed you. This baby, I don't even know if I'm fit to raise it. But I know one thing, I want it to know who you are. Because you were always the home I didn't deserve. And then the last line. The one that undid me. I'm not asking you to raise the baby. I'm just asking you to forgive me enough not to hate it. I put the letter down, my hands shaking. She hadn't even written it after the test. She wrote it before, knowing it might not be mine. Knowing she had no right to ask anything of me. But she still asked. And somehow, that mattered. Because it wasn't manipulative. It wasn't framed as we. It was honest. Maybe for the first time in months. The next morning, I told her I read it. She didn't cry. Just nodded. So, what now? I looked at her, broken, ashamed, scared. And I said, now we get you a doctor's appointment. And after that, therapy. She blinked. You're staying? No, I said. But I'm not walking away either. We didn't jump back into being a couple. We didn't sleep in the same bed. Didn't hold hands. Didn't pretend. What we did was harder. We coexisted, painfully, deliberately, while rebuilding something we both broke. Therapy was brutal. She cried. I didn't. I snapped. She swallowed it. But over time, we learned how to speak again. Not about the past, we'd bled that dry, but about what we still wanted. I told her. I don't trust you yet. She said. You shouldn't. But I want you to again. We went to her ultrasounds together. She offered to let me leave at every milestone. But I stayed. Not because I forgot what she did. But because the baby didn't do any of it. And somehow, holding that truth grounded me more than anything else could have. The baby came early. Complicated labor. She hemorrhaged. I waited outside the OR, staring at the double doors like they were a judge and jury. When the doctor came out and said she was stable, I cried for the first time in over a year. The baby, a girl, came out screaming. Strong. Furious. Alive. We named her Grace. It took me a long time to love her without flinching. Even longer to love her mother again without hearing echoes of lies. But I got there. And when people ask me now if I ever regretted forgiving her, I always pause before answering. Because the truth is, I did. At first. But now? I didn't save her. I saved myself from a life of bitterness. Last week, Grace turned 3. She asked me why mommy sometimes looks sad when she's happy. I knelt down and said, because some smiles take more strength than others. And she smiled back, the wide, fearless kind only children can manage, and hugged me like I was the safest place on earth. In that moment, I didn't just forgive her mother again. I forgave myself.